Let's move on to Titans, Ravens, and wow, Whale Capper, Ravens won 12 straight games. What a spectacular call you made in the beginning of the year. The weather report out of Baltimore is wild, and Donnie and I have been talking about it all season. Warm weather in cold weather environments, places we expect for rain and snow. We're not getting it. I was in Toronto over Christmas. It was 8 degrees Celsius. It was shockingly warm, and it's going to be shockingly warm in Baltimore on Saturday night. Shockingly warm, 63 Fahrenheit. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But showers are supposed to start right around game time or about 15 to 20 minutes before game time, and windy. 14 miles per hour wind. That screams Derrick Henry to me. But what else do you have? Other than Derrick Henry, when you talk about the Tennessee Titans, Ravens had the number 1 seed sewn up by week 16. They're rested, but then we have this Mark Ingram calf injury. Greg Roman says he's day-to-day. Harbaugh says he's on track and good to go. Who knows? Earl Thomas, knee injury. He's indicated that he's going to be good to go. Henry destroyed the Patriots. And the key against the Ravens is to keep Lamar off the field. Is that going to be possible? The Titans now don't have Jaylen Brown. I mean, the Titans don't have their Khalif Raymond to return kicks. The Titans, and they may get Khalif. He's in concussion protocol. Let's see what the SBR odds page is telling us. Baltimore opens up at -10. That's where they stand right now at Pinnacle, but that's a plus line. You get them there. 9.5 at a bunch of other books. Heritage has moved it to 9. This total's gone from 48 down to 47 at Bookmaker, 46.5 at a bunch of other books. Teddy Covers told us on our morning show today that he's waiting for it to see how low it'll go because he wants to go over this total. Donnie Rightside, take it away. Titans, Ravens, Saturday night.
Yeah, you want to check out the recency bias. And what I mean by that is, look, Tennessee's been a good football team all year. Tennessee was better than New England Patriots and picked up the victory, but Tennessee also had a completely different game plan that they're going to have to deploy against the Baltimore Ravens. Last week was, look at your quarterback back there. He's old as hell. He can't move around. And are you kidding me with these wide receivers? And who the hell are your running backs? Why don't we just keep punting from like the 36-yard line? Because your offense is so bad, we don't even have to score that many points to beat you. That's not going to be the case with the Baltimore Ravens. And I do know Mark Ingram coming into this game, he hasn't practiced all week yet, still has the calf injury. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, honestly, I'm not even so sure I even want him suited up because there's a lot bigger fish to fry down the road where you're going to need him healthy. And it's amazing because he's been a key catalyst in that offense. But looking back at just last week, Lamar Jackson's going to be all over the pocket. They're going to scheme him almost like the way they did Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. He's going to get his 10 to 15 runs and maybe even 5 true running plays for him to try to make up for the missing running back in Mark Ingram. So even if he plays, Ingram probably, maybe 10 touches, if all that. But last week, now you have wide receivers, Brown and Snead and Roberts, guys that can beat you deep. Last week, N'Keal Harry's a flat-out bust. Mohamed Sanu embarrassed himself, a second-round pick for that guy. Julian Edelman was on one leg. He had nothing at tight end and nothing explosive. And as I said, that completely flips over. I'm just waiting to see where this number actually ends up. I like, obviously, the San Francisco game a lot more than this one. But even looking at the total, I agree with Teddy. If these winds look like they're going to be 15 to 20 miles an hour, you're probably not going to want to jump on the total because that's going to affect the kicking game. But if we get one of those where, I thought it was going to be windy, and now it's all of a sudden 5 miles an hour, because last week you had guys putting out, Jimmy, a snowstorm in New England when it was perfect conditions, but they're going to have to get after it today. So starting off this, I like the Baltimore side of it here, but I'm still waiting on that total as well.
Michael Ervalina joining us. Ravens first half team total over is easy, he says. Nico says, same formula, dog with the rushing game, plus 9 points. We got Gabriel Hernandez in the chat, says, I got a feeling Ravens Titans goes under. There will be a lot of running. Clock will be running all night long. Gerald Jones in the house, loving this Green Bay Seattle spot. We will talk about that shortly. We got Jeff Billings joining us as well. Nasty Nate in the house. David Stewart, Rob Elias, what a great group. Whale Capper, Titans, Ravens. Do you remain bullish on your Baltimore Ravens?
I mean, they look good to me. This is a good team, right? I mean, I think I'm finally coming around on the Ravens. I'm finally starting to see what everyone else is seeing. This team is legit, right? In seriousness, though, this is a beautiful spot for them. I got involved early in the week when it was at 8.5. It's at 9.5 at some shops now. I think that's still a fair play. My price on this game is Ravens -13. I have them, power rated on a neutral field. I have the Ravens as 9 points better than the Tennessee Titans in their current form. And a lot of that comes down to Tannehill is not showing us much at all from a quarterback standpoint. 75 yards passing last week was pathetic. I think that you give, and everybody's been doing this. I did this. Like, you give Derrick Henry a ton of credit for the win over the Pats, but in reality, that was a tale of two halves. The Patriots let him go in the first half to a degree, and they made it their emphasis to stop Tannehill in the play-action game. And in the second half, they were like, well, Tannehill's got nothing. We need to adjust and take away, Henry now. And they used a couple of specific defensive looks, even though they don't have great personnel for it. They put the blueprint together. Hey, you want to stop Derrick Henry? This is how you do it. The Ravens are a smart organization. I think they break down that film and conclude the same thing. Like, okay, well, we'll do what the Patriots did to stop Tannehill in the play-action game. And if that is effective and Tannehill is off, then we can go and focus on Derrick Henry. And I don't think in any way you're worried here about Derrick Henry beating you if you're the Tennessee Titans, because when you have the ball on offense, the Tennessee Titans are not going to be able to do anything to stop you. I mean, honestly, you can run 10-minute drives if you feel like it. You can keep your defense on the sidelines, keep them fresh, keep them healthy. You're going to need them next week. Like, I really don't see how the Tennessee Titans can be competitive in this spot. I give the Ravens a full 4 points of home field advantage here, given that they're home with an extra week of time to prep here, and that stadium is going to be rocking. That is going to be an uncomfortable place to play if you're the Tennessee Titans. And if you're staring up at the scoreboard and it's 14-0 at some point in the first half, I don't know what you do to scheme yourself back into the game, because if you can take Derrick Henry out of the game either by scheming him out or by putting it, making the game state where he can't get the ball anymore. And either way, I think the Tennessee Titans come in, well under 20 points here. And the ceiling for the Ravens in terms of their output here is probably in the 30s. So, we've seen this team in primetime in big games this season just absolutely unload on stiffer competition than these Titans. And I think, laying the points here with the Ravens is not crazy. And this is probably going to be the least entertaining of the games that we see this weekend. They will not be surprising to me if this one is, you could put a bow on this one at halftime.
Jeff Billings agreeing with you, saying, I love the Ravens first half, full game, and team total over and the over. Let's talk about this total. Derrick Henry gained 138 of his rushing yards against the Pats after initial contact. What a monster. What a monster. Donnie Rightside, this total now down to 46.5. What move would you make if you had a free play?
Well, wait, as long as we get some decent 15-mile-an-hour winds or under, I mean, I think it's going to be certainly an over game because Baltimore scores. That's just what they do. And I think the Titans, when they're going to be pushed, which they weren't pushed last week from New England, they're going to have to open up their passing game. But the one thing I also want to bring up is, Baltimore's going to have to carry that. If you look at the second half of the season, what Baltimore has done on defense, it's been outrageous. And I know a lot of people say, week 17, not many. I take this week 17 with Baltimore of how serious of an organization they are. The Steelers came in, their hated division rival, needing to win a football game to possibly make the playoffs. You played nothing but backups and waxed the Pittsburgh Steelers. Waxed them. 160 yards you gave up total when you played nothing but bench guys on your defense. That is absolutely incredible. This defense will slow down the Titans. And who is slowing down the Ravens at this point on offense? I just don't see it. And again, one team is rested and ready. You can almost look at the Titans going up into New England going, oh, yes, coach, comes home, wins. Whoo, deep breath, man. We did everything. And then you're going to start hearing this weekend as it comes in, house money, right? House money on the Titans. House money getting wasted in this game. Baltimore names their number on offense, and we'll see what the Tennessee Titans can do on their offense.
David Stewart says, Titans have been putting up points in every game. Rob Elias liking Titans with the points. Dexter OS says, Titans cover. Sorry, Titans cover. Sorry. Whale Capper, you are just on the Ravens at -9.5. Are you interested in a Ravens team total? Is there any moves you're making with this total?
So my range doesn't actually show a ton of value on the Ravens team total over, but I think that is, if you were going to give me any opportunity to swing away at a team total or a full game total, I'm looking for either first half over or Ravens team total over. There is a reasonable possibility that Lamar Jackson there's a reasonable possibility that Lamar Jackson, doesn't look like the MVP. He's only had one playoff start in his career. It didn't go well. The nerves may be there for him. And so for that reason, I can't necessarily get involved in team total over. Like I was saying, I think the Ravens defense can legitimately hold the Titans to something like 3 or 10 points. The Titans team total under is intriguing to me. But again, because you could end up with a game where, it's like 45-3 or something like that, or it could be 20-3. I think the clear and obvious best angle is still laying the points with the Ravens. But if I had to get involved in some total otherwise, I'm giving a serious consideration to Titans team total under.
That at Bet365 is the exact same number that the Vikings is at. It's at 17.5. The -138 towards the under. Ravens team total sitting at 28.5. And those -138s are not enjoyable if you think you need to hit 56.3% of your bets if you're dealing with -130s, and that's just to break even. Then you do not want to have a bunch of -138. So that would be a line shopping situation, which we do well here at Sportsbook Review. Shop for the best number. Those are your Saturday games. Donnie's already said that his favorite look on that Saturday games would be the Niners. Whale Capper, you're on both the Niners and the Ravens. What would you say your favorite look is on Saturday?
I'm going to go Ravens, but it's not a huge and obvious better bet.
Yeah, it's there. Dan Kelly says, after great games to watch last weekend, I'm afraid it's going to be all boring blowouts this week. Gas Station Suit says the only way to slow down the Ravens offense is to run a 7 defensive back set. RB Fern says you got to think those dogs are going to be spicy. Spicing up come championship weekend if the 49ers Ravens win handily on Saturday. Perfect Rotation says I personally think Titans are live.